The Sword in the Stone. Long ago, after the death of King Uther Pendragon, England was a land of unrest. Mighty lords rose in every corner, each gathering followers and armies, each believing that he alone had the right to be king. The realm trembled on the edge of chaos, for no single hand could unite it, and the people feared what the future might bring. In this time of uncertainty, Merlin, the wise and mysterious enchanter, came to the Archbishop of Canterbury. His eyes sparkled with a secret knowledge, and his voice carried both urgency and calm. "Summon all the lords and knights of England," Merlin advised, "and bring them to London by Christmas. For on that holy night when Christ was born, God shall reveal through a miracle who is the true and rightful king of this land." The Archbishop followed Merlin's counsel. Messengers rode across the countryside, calling every noble, every knight, and even the smallest squire to come and witness the miracle. They were commanded to arrive by Christmas, under penalty of a curse. And so, as the season of frost and candlelight arrived, London filled with nobles, their armor gleaming, their banners snapping in the winter wind. They prepared themselves with prayers, fasting and acts of devotion, seeking favor in God's eyes, that their hearts might be pure and their souls ready. In the great church of London, after matins and the first Mass had been celebrated, a wonder appeared in the churchyard. There, standing tall and square like a marble block, was a stone. At its center rose an anvil of steel, and from the anvil projected a sword, shining so brightly that it seemed to drink in the sunlight. Around the sword were letters of gold, inscribed with words that made the people gasp. "Whoso pulleth out this sword from this stone and anvil is rightwise king born of all England." Word spread swiftly through the church. Crowds gathered, murmuring in awe and curiosity. Many tried to pull the sword, mighty men and skilled knights who had fought in countless battles, but it would not budge. The Archbishop raised his hand. "No one may touch it until all holy services are done. Wait and pray. God will make known the chosen one." Even after the Mass ended, the lords tried in turn. They tugged, they strained, they pushed, but the sword remained immovable. Finally, the Archbishop appointed 10 knights of great honor to guard the sword and announced a tournament for New Year's Day, giving every knight a chance to try their fortune. On that day, the fields rang with the clash of armor and the cries of the crowd. Sir Ector, a noble knight of London, came with his young son Sir Kay, newly knighted, and with young Arthur, the boy he had raised as his own. Arthur was small, quiet and thoughtful, often unnoticed among the bustling court and the boasting of knights. As they rode to the tournament, Sir Kay discovered he had forgotten his sword. He turned to Arthur with a worried look. "Arthur, my sword, ride swiftly and fetch it from our lodging." Arthur nodded, though his heart fluttered with nerves. He spurred his horse along the snowy paths, weaving between the cheering spectators. But when he arrived, the house was empty. The lady and her attendants had gone to the tournament. No one was there to hand him the sword. Arthur's brow furrowed in thought. "I cannot let my brother ride without a sword," he whispered. Then his eyes fell upon the sword in the churchyard, gleaming like a star. "I will fetch it for him," he said, and without hesitation he rode to the churchyard. Tying his horse to a nearby post, he approached the stone. The field was empty, the knights all at the jousts, and a hush seemed to fall around him. He gripped the hilt, feeling the cold steel through his hands, and with a steady breath, he pulled. To his surprise, the sword came free effortlessly. Its shining blade seemed almost alive, catching the sunlight and glimmering like fire on ice. Arthur mounted his horse and rode back to Sir Kay, holding the sword high. "Here is your sword, brother," he said simply. Kay's eyes widened in recognition. "The sword of the stone," he cried, and he rode straight to Sir Ector. "Father, behold, this sword, by right it must be mine." Sir Ector examined the blade, his brow furrowed. He beckoned Arthur close. "Tell me, boy, how came you by this sword?" Arthur recounted all exactly as it had happened, how he had gone to fetch his brother's sword, found the house empty, and drawn the sword from the stone with ease. Then Sir Ector said, "Place it back in the stone." Arthur did so, and once again it was immovable. Sir Ector tried with all his might, yet the sword did not yield. Kay tried next, straining with all his strength, but the sword remained steadfast. Finally, Arthur lifted it again as easily as before, and Sir Ector and Kay knelt before him in astonishment. Arthur, startled, asked, "My father, my brother, why do you kneel?" Sir Ector sighed. "Nay, Arthur, I am not your true father, nor are you of my blood. You are of higher birth than I imagined. Long ago Merlin placed you in our care, and we have raised you as our own. You are chosen by God to be King of England." Arthur's eyes filled with tears. He had loved Sir Ector and Lady Ector as his parents, and now he realized they were not his by blood. "I am beholden to you both for all my life," he said, his voice trembling. "Whatever you ask of me, I shall do it." Sir Ector's only wish was this, that Arthur make Sir Kay his seneschal, steward of all his lands. "That shall be done," Arthur promised, "and more. By my faith, none shall hold that office but he, while we both live." The news of the miracle spread like wildfire. On 12th day, the barons and knights gathered once more to try their strength. But once again, only Arthur could lift the sword. Some of the great lords were angered. Ashamed that a boy of unknown blood should be king, they delayed their acceptance, putting off the decision until Candlemas. Yet again, Arthur drew the sword easily, and again at Easter. At every trial, no one could move it but him. Finally, by Merlin's guidance, the Archbishop set a company of noble knights around Arthur, men who had served and been trusted by Uther Pendragon, including Sir Baldwin of Britain, Sir Ulfius, Sir Brastias, and Sir Kay. They watched over him day and night until Pentecost, ensuring that his kingship was secure. And so it came to pass that Arthur, the humble boy who had grown up quietly and without boast, was revealed as the rightful King of England. The people, seeing the miracle, bowed their heads in awe, and some even whispered in wonder and hope, "Arthur is our king." Arthur, humble and thoughtful, accepted his new role not with pride, but with the desire to rule wisely and justly. He would go on to bring peace to the land, and with Merlin's guidance he would found Camelot and the Knights of the Round Table, beginning a legend that would live forever.